Hello, everyone. Is my mic working this time? Is it coming out of the? It is. I can tell just by the little bars. Hopefully, it is coming out of the right little source. It's coming out of my actual microphone this time, and not the goddamn webcam like yesterday, which was quite annoying. But welcome everyone to the live stream. Obviously, hello live chat. Why are you the size of the Great Wall of China? What the hell is that? Hold on, let me fix that. That's something that needs to be fixed. I just noticed it. I was like, hold on. Okay, there we go. That should be fixed now. Okay, awesome. Hello everyone. That was a bit weird to start off the what do you call it, the live stream with, but thank God I noticed that early and not like half an hour in. But welcome everyone to the stream. Obviously, we got a decent amount to chat about. Obviously, we're down one part. We've watched one part of Crisis. That was yesterday. We have another one coming up in just under 3 hours, which is the Batwoman episode, where I think... Is this a spoiler live? If you mean in regards to yesterday's episode, then yes. In regards to what's coming up today, then no. But obviously today's episode... Well, not obviously, but I think today's episode is probably going to be a fan service episode, really. You should start a Discord server. I have a Discord server. If you click the link in the description which says Discord, it's like a bit down. Just trying to find it myself. You just scroll a bit down in the description for the stream. It says Twitch. I don't know why I still my Twitch there. I don't use it. My Twitter, Discord, and Instagram. Those are probably the three you want to click. I actually might delete my Twitch from that description right now while I'm here. Okay, there. So just got you. If you don't follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you can do that, as well as going to join the Discord server. Which there is, if this is your first time here, by the way, the Discord server has a live chat which you can be in when the episode's on tonight and when any episode's on, like Flash, Arrow, whatever's on. Well, I guess Arrow's only got 2 more episodes, but you know what I mean, in the future. So you go there, you can join the live chat and chat to other people that are watching it. But obviously throughout the stream, Sam just did it. But if you want to get your question 100% answered or your comment 100% read out, I'm sure that people might have some questions. There's super chat there you can get by clicking that little emblem down the bottom of the description. And if you want to become a member to the channel, you can become a member, and you can there's like a special Discord thing there if you want to get in there as well. Adam, while you're here, I've just noticed you're a part of the elite membership. Are you on my Discord? If you are, can you message me on Discord? Because I've just seen you pop up and I couldn't really get in contact with you until I saw you show up on the live stream. So Adam, if you can message me on Discord, I can give you that elite role, because I wasn't able to find you before. Okay, but now let's get into the stream. I think I've said everything I need to say. Yeah, I think I have. So obviously, yesterday's episode was... I saw people complaining about it, and I sort of... am curious, what did you guys think of the episode? Because I personally thought, while it wasn't like extremely fast paced in regards to it was action all the time, I think it was a nice steady build up to what we got. But I saw people complaining about it. Now, I think there were pacing issues, and I said this yesterday, and Sam, I will get you to your thing in a second. I just want to mention this early because I wanted to see what people say in the comments. So, I saw people saying yesterday, that was all these pacing issues and stuff. And the only pacing issues, I think, and I mentioned this in my review, was that because it was a Supergirl episode, they had to include the Supergirl characters. And I said in my review, I understand why they did that, but I felt it might have taken away from the episode a bit. And that was probably the only negatives. I saw a group on Twitter trying to call me toxic for saying that. And I was like, I'm literally pointing out the obvious. Like, if someone else said it, you wouldn't have called them toxic. Apparently it's just because it's me. Yeah, when it's Paige, you can call them toxic. I don't think it affected the episode in a dramatic way. I just think if it wasn't there, the episode would have been like maybe a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? Or a much higher thing. But I just thought going to to me personally, I don't know if anyone agrees with me or you completely disagree. That's fine. I was fine with Dreamer and even Kelly, because they were on the ground. But I felt the whole subplot with involving Lena wasted time because it didn't lead to anything. To me, in my opinion, I just thought it didn't need to be there. You know what I mean? That could have added I don't know if anyone's counted how many minutes that was, but I'd just say maybe 4 minutes of screen time that was. They could have done that elsewhere. But I understand why it was in there, because it was a Supergirl episode. And I thought they might have done this crossover a bit different, where maybe each episode didn't have to fit the show's model and it'd be its own thing, but we'll have to wait. We don't have to wait and see because we saw it there. So they are going to do that with the other episodes as well. But Sam donated $20. Thank you very much for that, Sam. RIP Green Arrow then. Tearing up emoji and then crying emoji. Yeah. Very sad. Like, I think that also, like, what did everyone think of the death of Oliver? Because I saw, like, to me, it was, like, random. And I think it was lackluster. I think lackluster is a good word. But I think it's lackluster for a reason. They wouldn't, like, they're not going to kill Oliver in that way. Now, I can tell you now, and I'm sure most of you know this, Stephen Amell, I'm pretty sure, filmed for every single episode. I know for a fact he filmed Batwoman, I'm pretty sure, because he tweeted out about it, unless that's a lie to throw you off that he died in episode 1. If he is in this episode, I think it might be right at the end. It might be like a scene at the end or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I think like lackluster is the best word, but I think it's lackluster for a reason. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was random. It was random. Sophia, thank you much for joining the Elite membership. Once again, if you're in the Discord, DM me or just message me. I don't even think it's called a DM. Just message me on Discord. Or private message me and I'll upgrade you to that. So thank you very much for joining the membership. And thank you to Jayhon CR12 space 1. I think that's a space for joining the membership. Greatly appreciated. If you do join the membership, I'll just do this quickly. You do get a bunch of emojis down there as well. Just make sure I've got everything sweet. Captain J10 with the $2. Thank you very much for that. Did Titans Earth 9 gone? I'm confused about that. It's hard to tell because you didn't see, I'd assume it's gone, but you didn't see like the Earth get wiped out like they did with like Earth X. They made sure that you saw that the Earth got destroyed. And the other Earths, I don't think you actually saw them get destroyed. The only one you actually saw got destroyed was Earth X, I think. So the other ones technically just could have been affected by the red skies and not been destroyed at that point. But I think we should assume that they were destroyed, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But with the Titans thing, I told you they were in there. I told you they were from Earth 9. And the thing around this is, okay, so in my original video, well, not the original one, the follow-up, when I had the full script, I said that the scene was meant to take place in Titan's Tower. That was the original plan. So, I don't know, there was all this thing about, apparently the scene was meant to be Supergirl flying over the multiverse, which makes zero sense in the context of Crisis. So whoever made that up pulled that out of the deepest realms of their ass. And not a good ass, like a bad ass. Like the deepest realms of that. Whoever believed the Supergirl thing, Jesus Christ, or Bebo Christ, because it wasn't good. Anyway, so the original scene was that they were going to be in Titan's Tower. They're going to look out at Titan's Tower, red skies, and then their Earth gets destroyed. But before that, they say some stuff. Now, Guggenheim, apparently, I'm not going to confirm this because it's not video, but Guggenheim, who's the behind Crisis, he's like the consultant. He's not the consultant. He's like the showrunner for Crisis as a crossover. Said in a Q&A that they wanted to make it happen. The showrunner was on board for Titans. They were going to work together. Sorry if you can hear a plane. God, that's loud. Please don't crash on me like yesterday. That's louder than any of the ones yesterday. But the Titans showrunner and Mark Guggenheim, who's the showrunner for Crisis, were all on board for Titans to be in there. The issue that they faced was work permits. I don't know what the issue is there because Titans films in Toronto, which is in Canada as well. And, you know, all the shows film in Vancouver. So you think they'd have similar things there? Apparently not. It could just come down to like local, like state taxes and stuff like that and certain work permits around that. Not 100% sure. But that was the issue there. That's apparently come from Guggenheim's mouth at a Q&A, like a fan Q&A. So Titans were going to be in the crossover legit, and they were going to film their own scene, but work permits came against that. There's all this other stuff that's rumored, but apparently that's coming from both of the showrunners. So if you're wondering why they just didn't do a proper thing with Titans, that's why. But I told you they'd be in the crossover, and I told you they'd be from Earth 9. So big dub. Sean Cowell, 26, thank you very much for that with the $5, the $5 ruse. Pagey, glad I caught this. Loved last night's premiere. Loved the build up, slow and steady. Exactly. I think that was a common complaint I saw, and I thought that was better. Like, you can't have the whole thing be like bang, 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 because the thing you'll see with Crisis is as it will be a slow build up. Then like you have that all basically from tonight's episode on is everything like the story flowing, and then the Legends episode, the last one, it'll simmer down, it'll come to an end. You can't just start up here and go, the whole way across. It has to like build up and then it goes down at the end. It steadies down. So I don't know why people were complaining about that. I think that's the way to tell it. Only issue I could come up with, if I had to come up with, was that maybe screen time was wasted. Or maybe just misused. Kebab enthusiast, I love a good old kebab, with the $5 with the keep it up emoji. Is that I think it's a pear? It's like a sticker. I love these stickers they brought in because they're random as hell whenever they pop up, but they're always good to see. I'll jump into the, actually, how many do I have here? I'll answer Sam's, then I'll jump into the live chat. So Sam said with $5, can we just acknowledge what a silly doodle page he was for thinking Titans would have a cameo on the crossover? Am I right? Sarcasm. Exactly. Silly doodle, eh? That's a good word to use. I'm excited to see who's in the episodes going forward because Guggenheim said there were 6 unnamed appearances, cameos. Now, I don't know if Titans were in there. Let's just assume that Guggenheim knew that Titans being in Crisis was already out there. So one of them was in episode 1. In the Legends, when the Legends get picked up and there's the trivia guy, that's the guy from the Tick. The Tick, he's like the sidekick, I think, in the Tick Amazon TV show. He was like the quizmaster. So that was one cameo. I don't know if Will Wheaton counts because he wasn't announced, but he was in the promos. But Will Wheaton was in there as well. So I don't know if that counts as number 2. And if that's just 2 there, then we should expect maybe 2 in this episode that's on tonight, and maybe 2 in part 3, maybe 2 in all the episodes. But that matters if you count Will Wheaton because he was in the promos. He publicly tweeted before Crisis was out that he was in it because he was in the promos. So I don't know if you can count Will Wheaton. And I don't know if there was any other surprise cameos that weren't already announced or quote unquote leaked. But that's for us to wait and find out. Rip Hunter would be cool. People are actually thinking that Rip Hunter's in there, but people are thinking parts 4 and 5 that he's in there because they're still doing stuff, and this could include reshoots. They might do reshoots for part 4 and 5 just to include whether it's cameos or reshoot scenes with cameos in them. But that's for us to wait and find out. I don't necessarily know what they're going to do in regards to adding stuff to parts 4 and 5. Is Tom Welling going to put on the frickin' suit? I wouldn't count on it. But they might have some sort of surprise there. That's for us to wait and find out. Scarlet Lightning, 86 with the $5. Thank you very much for that. How does it work that Titans Earth was destroyed, but Titans was still continue? I don't know. So, as I said before, technically the only Earth we saw get destroyed was Earth X. But on that Titans, that Crisis Aftermath, that, by the way, did anyone watch that? If you did, let me know what you think, because I watched it, and I only cared about the behind the scenes stuff in the interviews, because I thought everything outside of that was a bit cringe. Like, I think Kevin Smith tried his best, but he was obviously given stuff like, look, this is what you have to do. I think he tried his best and he was working around pretty meh stuff, but I did like the behind the scenes. They showed a really cool behind the scenes thing where I think it almost spoils the Legends episode a bit. I don't want to talk about it because people haven't seen it, so I don't really want to refer to it too much, but I was like, are they doing in the Legends episode what I think they're doing? If you've seen the behind the scenes thing, you might know what I'm referring to. It refers to 7 characters in a certain area. But if they do it, that's crazy for like the future of the Arrowverse and where they could go. But I won't mention it now. We'll talk about it in a month's time, I guess, when the Legends episode airs. But yeah, technically we didn't see the Titans episode. The Earth get destroyed, so who knows if they actually did die. Comic Aussie with the $5 as well. Did the new preview with Iris meeting Clark spoil the outcome of Tom Welling's scene? Lex used the book to make them disappear from Smallville Clark. Yeah, we don't know the full context. We just know that happened. Why did he make them disappear? That's another question in itself. We've only got 2 3/4 hours to wait to find out what went on there. I think I don't think it spoiled too much, because I think if you look at the Tom Welling stuff, they are really pretty much just showing the same scene with just different shots. It's pretty much like they're not really hiding too much of the fact that Tom Welling's not in much of this crossover. But Lex with the book is interesting. I wonder what he's going to do with that. Krish Kapoor, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, with the £4. Thank you very much for that. Will Constantine resurrect Oliver? Maybe, but also it's important to remember that Lucifer is in the crossover as well, and he's in the Flash episode, and I can tell you, which I've already said in videos, Lucifer has scenes with Constantine Diggle, and someone else. I think it's Constantine, Diggle. I can't remember who the other person is. I think it's Constantine, Diggle, and someone else. It might be Mia. I don't think it's Mia, but it might be Mia. I'm not too sure. By the way, it's a bit weird that Mia is going to be in this crossover more than probably characters like Diggle, Iris, Cisco, any of the other characters. Like outside of main characters, outside of like Superman, I guess. She's going to be in the crossover the most, which is pretty crazy. And I count Ray and Sarah as main characters because they're like the male and female lead of Legends. I'll just look through the chat first. I don't think Mia will be bad in Crisis. I just think it's not deserved. It's like really not deserved. That's my biggest issue. Like Crisis is the build up. Like I don't think it's that much of an issue now. I think she's tolerable, but the issue I have is that I don't think she deserves to be there. Like I think you have to deserve to be there, and she's been in like hardly any episodes in comparison. That's my only issue. I think now I'm okay with it, like her as a character, even though I'm not fond on the acting, but my issue is that she doesn't deserve to be there. That's my issue. Clearly not PC with the $5. Oliver's way too underpowered to face the Anti-Monitor. I think they're killing off the Green Arrow so that Oliver will become Spectre in episode 3. Yes and no in regards to that. I think they might make it that maybe he becomes Spectre in episode 4, which is the Hour episode. That's important to remember. It's very important to remember that episode 4 is the Hour episode, and we literally know nothing about that episode. We know nothing about the Hour episode. We know a lot of stuff about the Legends episode and all the episodes before that, but we know nothing about the Hour episode, which is, I think, a big hint as to that being like a very crucial episode. And also, actually, the only thing we know about the Hour episode now, because it was revealed yesterday, is at the beginning of that episode, I'm guessing like the opening 5 minutes or something, will tell the origin of the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor. Mark Guggenheim revealed that yesterday. That's going to be at the beginning of episode 4, part 4, or episode 4. But the rest of that is an Arrow episode, so they will do a lot of stuff central to Arrow after things, so a lot of focus on at least Oliver and how he parts, if you want to call it the Arrowverse. Because I think he filmed for Legends. I think Steven filmed for every episode, but I think if he's in Legends, it's maybe towards the beginning of it. But anyway, but I don't think it's going to be a surprise if Oliver becomes the Spectre. It just matters when, I guess. I think they'll set it up in episode 3 because we know that Jim Corrigan's in episode 3. But whether he fully becomes Spectre, I think, is something that happens in episode 4. You know what I mean? So, but thank you very much. Thank you very much for that donation and the question. Krish Kapoor once again with the £2. Well, you sent the same question twice. Sorry if I didn't answer it the first time and you just felt you needed to ask it again. I get to the super chats a bit late sometimes, so if I don't answer it straight away, I'll get to them. I always answer every single super chat. It just might take me a bit because I'm an idiot and I talk too much. But thank you very much for Krish Kapoor for the other £2, even though I'm pretty sure it's because I didn't answer your question straight away. I'll just look through the chat quickly and then we'll come back to the thing. Yeah, Stephen Amell did retweet my quote retweet my tweet. Is that the proper English to use? Which I thought was pretty sick. Happy for it. You're better when you're wrong. Yeah, is that exactly what he said? Let me go to his Twitter. I'll go to my notifications. You're at your best when you're wrong. I love that. Love that. Will Alice be the villain of season 2 of Batwoman? Because I would assume that season 1 took place before Elseworlds, because season 1 is like an origin. I'm confused about the timeline with Batwoman because episode 5 takes place just after Elseworlds, and they had episode 8, which was their mid-season finale, it was like moving along like a normal timeline. So I don't know what happens now. Unless the Wonderland gang is just still around a year later, I have no clue. That was really confusing. Unless she's back out, or something. I don't know. It was confusing. I don't think the Batwoman writers, or at least the Crisis people, knew about what was going on with their timeline. Paige, is there a new episode tonight? Yes, there is. Part 2 is tonight. Part 3 is tomorrow night. So we've got 3 nights in a row of, stress, heartbreak, and, hopefully excitement, but also mainly stress. I think the Oliver Queen from 2046 will join the team. I think that's the case as well. I won't spoil why and when, but I think that's the case. I actually enjoyed Mia in the first episode of the crossover. I loved her line when she said he gets that a lot. Yeah, as I said, I think she was fine in this episode because she wasn't acting like, I'm angry all the time. Dad, why did you die? Like, that was the annoying thing. Now she's just acting like, oh, I'm his daughter, and let me act normal for once. So I'm on board with. I don't love Mia. You know, I don't think I'll ever love the character because I'll always have traumatic flashbacks to what we had with the flash forwards and pretty much most of Arrow season 8. But the way the character is now, I'm good with it. Like, I don't hold grudges on characters. Like, I hated Felicity in season 4, but I was probably one of the first people to come around and actually start to actually enjoy Felicity in the show. You know what I mean? So I don't really hold grudges with characters too much, except for Donna Smoke. She can burn in hell. That character can never come back. Please go away. Never come back. Julian Orlando with the $2. Sorry. I really wanted to see Pariah warn people in the opening. Yeah, I was disappointed that didn't happen. My only hope is that they're saving that for the Flash episode, because I can tell you now, Nash Wells has scenes in the Flash episode, and I think it's his origin into becoming Pariah. So we'll see him go from Nash Wells in that end scene that all the shows had into becoming Pariah. So that's I think that's going to be in the Flash episode, because he did film scenes as Nash Wells, but I think it's the only scene he filmed as Nash Wells for the crossover. God, where did that happen there? Sean Cow with the $2. Dunkashun for that. Cameos rocked. I loved Burt Ward. Yeah, I love that. And they actually confirmed that that was actually Dick Grayson of Earth 66, but on the call sheet it said it was Burt Ward. So maybe it was meant to be Burt Ward and they just changed it around. I don't know, but it was cool that he was in there, and he had the best cameo, like the longest line. Krish Kapoor, you asked the same question again with the £5. Will Constantine resurrect Oliver? Hopefully you heard my answer. The answer is he's working with Lucifer on that, I think. As well as Diggle and maybe Mia, but I think it's Constantine, Diggle, Lucifer, and someone else, but it might be Mia. But yeah, King Goat, you don't have to constantly spam for me to check Twitter. I'll check it after. I'm not going to check mid-stream. John CR12 space 1. I'm not too sure if that's actually meant to be a name. Was it Jayhon or something? I'm not too sure. I'm not going to guess. With the $5, thank you very much for that though. Yo, I love you, Pagey, but I want to ask about Reverse Flash. Do you think he's in crisis, and why or why not? I want to say yes, but I have no clue. Tom Cavanagh's there, so I think if we see Reverse Flash, it's going to be the Wells version of Reverse Flash. But I literally have no clue. Like, he might be in the Flash episode, if anything. Like, there might be like some sort of Speed Force thing that goes on. But at this point, it's really hard to tell. I'm going to say yes. Let's just say yes, because it's fan service. We were sort of led to believe Reverse Flash would be in this whole 2024 crisis thing for Barry. So you think they would do something with him. I don't think we're going to be left out with no Reverse Flash, but that's for us to wait and find out. If he does appear, I wouldn't expect a ridiculous amount of him. But I'm going to say yes to him being in crisis. It's a yes with literally no confidence and no evidence, but I'm going to say yes. So we'll go yes. Yes. Does anyone agree with me, or do you say no to Reverse Flash? Do you say no to Reverse Flash, or yes? Because I'm going to say yes. We did get a Streamlabs. So Talon028 with the $2. Lucifer is in the crossover. Is he even a DC franchise? Also, I really don't think our version of Oliver is dead or is going to die due to the portal that Felicity went through with the Monitor in season 7. Yes, that's true, but I think they might do something weird where it's like he's the Spectre or something in there, or like he's the Spectre for a certain amount of time and then it's handed over to someone else, but because of what he did as the Spectre, then he goes to the Paradise Dimension or whatever that thing is where that portal leads. I think that's what it is. In regards to that, I wonder if they're going to go full circle that, whether it's in Crisis or just the Arrow finale. That's what I'm interested in. And also, Oliver told Mia to like go find her mother. So is future Mia going to go see present day Felicity? That's the thing I was sort of confused with, because that was in like one of the trailers and I was confused, but I was like, no, surely not. That won't happen. But I don't know. But with Lucifer, Vertigo is a part of the DC family, so technically yes. And like Vertigo characters have come over and joined the DC universe, So him being in the crossover isn't like some like almost like if like Spider-Man showed up or something in Crisis. It's not like that. It's a bit. It's not normal, but it's definitely not abnormal. So let me look through the chat. Ooh, okay. I'll get to that in a second. Andrew the Man with the $5. Remember that video I tagged you in about a look-alike Kent farm? That was awesome. Was that you? Okay, yeah. I remember seeing that video. It looked a lot like it. Like, I think the only thing that didn't look too much like it was, I think the barn was maybe a bit smaller, I think. Or like the Kent farm barn is like tall. I can't remember which one it was. I remember the barn didn't look exactly the same, but the house looked incredibly like the Kent house, which I thought was really cool. Colin Henderson with the $2. How'd you get the exclusive clip? It literally got emailed to me by people at the CW, which I thought was pretty insane. Now, it was meant to be my exclusive clip. So if you've seen like comicbook.com and TV Line got exclusive clips, the one I put up was meant to be my exclusive clip, and I was sort of disappointed because some random affiliated CW network that has a YouTube channel randomly uploaded it when they weren't meant to, or not necessarily when they weren't meant to. It's just that they weren't told to, so they usually wouldn't do it. So it was meant to be my like exclusive clip. So I was a bit disappointed that it went up just after I put it up on Twitter and before I put it up on YouTube. But yeah, I was still told to call it an exclusive. People were like, oh, look at him, he's called it an exclusive when some other channel put it up then. It's like, yeah, but I was literally told to call it an exclusive. So people really have it out for me. I don't know why people hate me so much. It's really weird. Josh is a gamer 123 with the £2. God, I don't have my glasses on and the screen is really white, or this like white. This web page is really white. I hate being in the UK. Ugh, with 3 extremely aggressive crying emojis. Yeah, the whole UK situation is really messed up. Not only because you're behind a week, but also because you don't even have Batwoman, which is crazy. So I don't even know. It's mental. It's really weird, the whole UK situation in the Arrowverse. Like, technically Australia gets the first episode of Crisis tonight, but Supergirl and Batwoman are always on the same night. So there'll be 2 episodes of Crisis tonight, and then Flash will be on tomorrow. So the whole UK thing's really weird. Just looking through the chat quickly. How did Nash Wells release Anti-Mod? So that will be in the Flash episode. Like, I think they're gonna go really in detail with that, and then I think the way they're telling it is a bit unorthodox in comparison to the comic. But I think because of the schedule and like what show started and stuff, I think they have to go this way, and maybe for their storytelling like purpose it works better. We won't know until we watch the whole crossover to see if it actually worked. It could end up being a mess. You never know. We could get to part 4 and we're like, this literally makes no sense. Why did you do it this way? But at the moment we just have to wait and see. I have confidence that they'll do it right, or do it really well. But you could potentially see like, okay, well, maybe it might not make sense. And why didn't you just follow like the comic story and like how that plays out? But maybe they wanted to do it different. Let me just take a drink of water. Ozzust 002 with 25 PLN. I'm not too sure what currency that is, unfortunately. Oliver won't be Spectre. This was assigned to Stephen Lobo. Stephen Lobo is playing Jim Corrigan, but Spectre can literally be handed over. So I think that's literally why he's in there, is something to do with Oliver. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the best way to put it. Like, I think he's going to become Spectre. Whether it's in episode 3, I think it'll be in episode 4, and episode 3 will set it up with Jim Corrigan being there. But I think Oliver becomes Spectre. That's the best way to put it. Sophia with the £2. So spoiler is a Paragon. Were you expecting this? I'm assuming you mean this isn't really too much of a spoiler. God, those planes. This isn't too much of a spoiler because I think most people would know this. I think I'm sure you're referring to the Kingdom Come Superman. I was expecting it. I think once we learned that like someone like that all these people were going to find Paragons, and the people that were going to find Paragons were people we thought were going to be Paragons. And also I got spoilers for Legends where I learned that 2 characters we thought would be Paragons were indeed not Paragons, and that one person appears to be a Paragon in that episode as well, if that makes sense in English. So Kingdom Come Superman is a Paragon. If I had to make predictions in regards to other ones, I'd say Martian Manhunter, Kingdom Come Superman, maybe the Kevin Conroy Batman, Kingdom Come Batman. I don't know. I wouldn't be confident in saying that. Ryan Choi, probably Black Lightning, and there could be like maybe 2 or 3 surprises there. I'd say like maybe Flash is one as well. I'd say Flash is one just because it's the Flash, but who knows. Chris plays with the $50. Thank you very much. Yeah. Have I skipped any? No. Okay. Chris plays with the $50. Thank you very much. I hope 2 of the unmentioned jobs will be Dr. Fate and Swamp Thing. Look, Swamp Thing I think both of those would be wishful thinking, to be completely honest. It'd be cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Dr. Fate though, wouldn't mind. Like, Dr. Fate I think is just such a cool character. I'm excited to see because I think we'll get 2 tonight and 2 tomorrow because I'm pretty sure we got 2 in yesterday's episode, because even though I'm not 100% sure if they counted Will Wheaton, it technically wasn't publicly announced, even though it was in a promo, so I think they might count that. And technically, that other guy from the Tick was in a promo, because if you go to the first promos that came out, he's in the background. He's blurred out, but you might have been able to tell if it was him if you knew he was in there, or if you recognized the actor enough. So I think those were the first 2. So I think we get 2 tonight, 2 tomorrow, but I don't know if it'll necessarily be characters. It might be but then it could be characters. I don't know. I'm sort of confused how they're going to do these, like, unconfirmed or unreleased, surprises. I'm looking forward to it, though. But thank you very much for that $50, Chris. It's very, very generous. Just let me look through the live chat quickly before we go through everything else. Actually, people are asking about this to put it on the live stream because okay, I'll do this because I think Canada Graphs is here. So if you saw on Twitter, there was like Steven did an autograph thing where he I'm trying to do this so I don't rip the plastic. Where he did a, I'm just trying to see which way it opens. Where he did he signed a photo and like autograph and wrote, "Paige, you're always wrong." So I'll try and put that on screen right now. Let me move this thing right here so I can see these freaking planes. So I don't know if you can see that there. Hopefully, I think that's clear. Yeah, that's clear. You can see that. You can see that well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's good. You can see that. I'll just put it there. Whoop, don't make it fall off the goddamn cardboard like an idiot. Oh, dog's in the background being shifty. Didn't even realize he was there. So that was awesome. So the Canada Graphs actually helped send that out to me. So Steven signed it like that, and then Canada Graphs sent it out to me. So I thought that was pretty cool. If you want an autograph like that, in a cheaper manner than going to like a convention, lining up, paying for the photo, paying for the autograph and stuff like that, there is a link in the description to Canada Graph's website, and there is a bunch of autographs there from like all the actors in the Arrowverse. Like if you name an actor that's been a character in the Arrowverse, there's an autograph there, and they're very reasonable prices. Good quality photos with obviously good quality signatures because they're from the actors. So there's a link in the description if you want to go check them out, and just follow the things there. So Canada Graphs didn't ask me to do that, but I think it's just a thank you for sending that out. He spent his money to send this out to me. So if you want to go check out that things, it's in the description of this live stream. If it's not there, refresh because you might have joined before I put it in there. But definitely go check it out. I've linked the Arrow section just because it's an Arrow autograph. But if you go to like the left, it has all the shows like Flash, Supergirl, Legends, Batwoman probably. I didn't really have a look, to be completely honest. Any is Supernatural if you're a fan of that, so go do that. And yeah, that's the little advertisement segue of the live stream, if you want to call it. So maybe we'll look through the chat. Earth One Laurel's a Paragon. That'd be interesting. I don't think that's the case. I think she might appear in like some sort of like different reality sort of thing. But yeah. Let me just go through the live super chats here. I got a fair through the get through, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, like I don't care about them. Don't mean that. Doug Snyder with the $5 have you really been far even as decided to use want to go look more like? I'm not too sure what that means, Doug. You might have to let me know in the chat what that means, because I think you might have mistyped. Have you really been far even as decided to use want to go look more like? You might have to let me know exactly what you mean there, because I don't understand that. You might have mistyped. So just let me know in the chat, and I'll try and find it. If people want to let me know exactly what he said, there. The Discord isn't working. Let me give me 2 seconds. If it's not working, I will give me 2 seconds to put another one in there if it's not working. Okay. Oh, what did I just do? I just recopied apparently the one that doesn't work. Okay, it should work. It should work. That's the right one. So if it doesn't work, then it might be on your end. I'm not too sure. If I did Doug type it in the chat. I can't see it. I'll probably see it eventually. But I'll come back to that, Doug, if you... Oh, here we go. It's a weird video. It's supposed to be confusing. I still don't understand, Doug. I'm sorry. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not getting it. I'll try and come back to it in a second. I want to try to get through this other super chat. Gary Newbury, with the hopefully I pronounced that name, like Newberry or Newbury. I'm not too sure how it would be pronounced. With the $5, do you think Barry will become the lightning bolt that gave him powers? I've seen a lot of people bring that up and curious about it because of the whole comic connection and stuff like that. I think it matters how the Flash show wants to go out. I think that's the big question. Yeah, I think it just matters how they want to go out, because I think they have to set that up properly. They can't just have it happen like that. So it has to actually like lead into there properly. Otherwise, it's I don't know. It could fail to make sense. It could fail to make sense. But I wouldn't mind seeing it, but it'd have to work. It'd have to work. You know what I mean? It is extremely hot today. If anyone knows, there's like fires in Australia, and there's all this smoke, and it's just making it so humid. It's ridiculous. Like, I should have taken a photo when I went out this morning. I thought like it was just so smoky. If you breathed in, it felt like you're holding a match under your nose, like a match that you've like recently blown out, so all the smoke's coming off it. It was ridiculous. Do you think we will see the Anti-Monitor tonight? Maybe, but I think episode 3 might be... They might tease the Anti-Monitor. But because episode 4... Oh, but then again, I think episode 3 might end off on a cliffhanger with the Anti-Monitor. Maybe. Maybe the cliffhanger tonight might be the Anti-Monitor. I'm excited to see what the cliffhanger is. That's the thing. Let's just say yes. Let's just say it, because I don't think they really want to hold him off for too much longer. So let's just say yes to Anti-Monitor being in it. What do you watch the new episodes on? Tonight, I'll be watching Crisis on ustvnow.com. Everyone, like, I saw people saying, don't tell people the free website, it will crash. I don't think it crashed. Was anyone watching it yesterday and it crashed? Because I don't think it did. And I'm pretty sure there would have been a lot of people using it. The episode starts in 2 hours and 20 minutes for those curious. I saw someone ask. Jayhon CR, once again with the $2. Wait, is Lucifer in Crisis? Oh yeah, I sort of answered a question like that before. Yes, Lucifer is in Crisis for a short amount of time in the Flash episode from what we know. So yeah, don't expect... It's probably like a Tom Welling like appearance. So he could have done more, but it seems like he only did a couple of scenes. Marty Griff with the €2. Will Nash stay Pariah after Crisis? We know that Tom Cavanagh is filming... He's still filming Flash. Now, it is important to remember, for those who don't read the comics, Pariah survives Crisis. He isn't like one of the people that just he isn't like a sort of like martyr or something like that. He doesn't die in Crisis. He survives. Other characters that are currently there do die. Won't tell you who. Which makes... Oh, I won't say it. But Pariah survives Crisis, so it'd be interesting to see if he survives and then goes back to Nash, or... I don't know. Or maybe because if the Anti-Monitor is defeated, maybe he's like broken from it, he can go back to being Nash. I don't know. It'd be weird if like Pariah just stays around as Pariah for the rest of the season of The Flash. So we know that he's in it after Crisis. But that's for us to wait and find out exactly who he plays. Josh with the $5. Thank you much for that. Thank you. I can't speak English. Thank you very much for that, Josh. I like that Mia refused to take the suit until Oliver insisted. Classy moment. Yeah, I think they got to make Mia... They, like, really... As I said, I think the end of episode... What was it? 7? 7 of Arrow, even though it was a really short scene, there'd been so much bad Mia before that. You only needed some good to know where the character could go, and that the character to understand the character a bit more, and where the character will go in the future. I have faith that this crossover, not the crossover, that spin-off that Mia's going to lead won't be terrible. I still think the premise is weak as hell, and it's going to take a lot of like decent writing and very creative writing to make it interesting for a long amount of time. But I think I can live with Mia being the lead, but she does need supporting characters. But that even just that moment with Oliver, I think, is just a sign of what's to come. But they really need to keep that up. They can't take her back to what she was. She's got to be like she is. If they go back to her being stubborn and trying to replicate Oliver without any sort of backstory to back that behavior up, it's going to lead down a bad path where I think you're just going to get angry watching that show. But yeah. Talon with the $2. If Oliver dies, how do you think they'll do the finale of Arrow? I think it's pretty much going to be like a lot of flashbacks, maybe some weird dream reality stuff, and then like a memorial funeral sort of thing. I think that's how I'll handle it. Pretty much, there'll be like some surprises in there, and maybe that Felicity thing with the whole like, because Oliver won't be dead. I think he's actually going to be dead. He's going to be dead, if that makes sense. And they'll probably do the Felicity thing. At least like a continuation of that, like Felicity going into the portal maybe, and then seeing Oliver. I think that's what they'll do. I'll come back to the rest of those super chats in a second. I'll just go through the chat quickly. It was 38 degrees in Melbourne yesterday, and that's just Melbourne. Melbourne's all over the joint. One day it's boiling hot, next day you're in like 7 layers of clothing because it's freezing. 19 degrees isn't freezing, but you know what I mean. I watched Supergirl and Batwoman today, and I live in the United Kingdom. Ooh, you must be rebellious. Fuizana, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I probably butchered it. I'm guessing you use like a streaming site or something. Like, it's really annoying that like the UK people have to do that. Like, I know there's like other things where like streaming service and stuff like DC Universe or like even like Disney Plus and stuff, you have to use the illegal methods or non-legal methods. We'll say that maybe that's the best word to use. But even for stuff like this, where it's on TV, but it's like a week delay, it's really silly. Will Batman Beyond be in Crisis? I'll just leave that like that. There you go. Take make of that what you will. I'm from the UK, so is Batwoman any good? It starts off a bit messy. Like, it's not necessarily bad. It's just a bit... It didn't have a direction. Like, it was just trying to do all these different things with different characters without really focusing on Kate. And then once it starts to focus on Kate and Alice, it gets much more interesting. It's very watchable. Like, it's a very watchable show. I wouldn't say necessarily it's, like, on the level of, like, the other... like, at least, like, where Arrow was, where it was. But it's building up to that. Like, I definitely see Batwoman... getting to a very watchable Arrow level, if that makes sense. Like, not as good as Arrow Season 2 or anything, but like a watchable level. What show is part 2 on? Batwoman. So that's tonight. I'll go through the rest of these super chats now. So Victor with the $5 how do you think these crises will end? And what is the fallout we are to see on the second half of the Arrowverse? Like the shows like end up like back half of Flash season 6 and all that. I think like the first third, when we come back, will be some fallout from Crisis. Like, I know for a fact Flash deals with it, and I won't spoil why. Some of you might have been able to get some hints through, I think, maybe some videos I've mentioned, but I won't spoil exactly why. But Supergirl should be the show that deals with it the most. And once again, I won't spoil why. You might be able to connect the dots. Why do I keep looking at... I'm looking at myself. I'm going to take myself... Don't get so absorbed with yourself, Paige, man. But, yeah, I think Supergirl's the show that's going to deal with it most. Batwoman technically shouldn't because of its timeline. And then Legends doesn't start till after Crisis. But that will deal with it as well. We won't have seen the examples beforehand. So Legends starts after Crisis ends, both literally with us watching and then in their timeline. So Sarah will be dealing with it as well. So, yeah. Will Manu Bennett be returning at all before Arrow ends? Let me look this up quickly, because there was remember that thing I said before at the Crisis thing? There was something from that Arrow Q&A. Okay, so... Oh, man, I've missed it. Damn it. Okay, I don't have it copied anymore, and I can't be bothered looking it up again. but it said something about, like, someone asked whether Manu Bennett would be back in either Crisis or Arrow, and he refused to answer the question. But he was straight up saying no to other characters coming back. So he said no to Manu Bennett coming back, and he said no to... Or he refused to answer the question to the Manu Bennett thing, and he refused to answer the question to... Oh, who was the other one? I can't remember who the other one was. Manu Bennett was one, though. I can't remember who the other person was. Or the other character or actor. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head who it would be. It might have... I can't remember now. It might have been Kid Flash. It might have been Kid Flash, but I don't think it was Kid Flash. I'm not 100% sure. So I wish I could answer it. Wish I didn't have, like, some sort of, like, brain deficiency where I was losing my memories. But yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. What's this? Okay, don't worry. I got another Streamlabs donation there. But yeah, with the Fallout, all those shows will deal with it except Batwoman, I think, unless they just retcon the timeline. I have no idea what they're going to do there, but I'd expect Supergirl and Legends to deal with it the most. Maddie B Custom with the $2. Is Earth 9 Titans the real Titans? Last night rank? I'm not too sure what you mean by last night rank, as in like 9 out of 10 or something. If that's what you mean there, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, outside of like some little hiccups which weren't ruining, like they didn't ruin the episode at all. Like that really wouldn't use them to peg down the episode too much. The Earth 9 Titans, well, according to Guggenheim, yes. Guggenheim said they were. There's other people saying no, it's not, but they're basing off literally nothing. Like the dude who ran the crossover is saying yes, that's the Earth of what the Titans are. So we're just going off his word, and he set up this universe, so I'd say yes. So make of that what you will. Scarlet Lightning 86, Paige, you and Bebo are both Paragons. That's a bit of a spoiler. Actually, what if Bebo is a Paragon? What if Bebo is legitimately a Paragon? Is he, like... If he is legitimately a Paragon, then... Wow. If Felicity was a Paragon, then that'd be... Oh, if Donna Smoke was a Paragon... Oh, God. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. We got some donations through Streamlabs. Sebastbot with the $2. What do you think will happen at the end of Flash that would keep us thinking for the next month? I think you're going to see... Here's my one expletive word for the stream. Shit hit the fan. Shit will hit the fan. That's what I'm expecting. They got to leave you on something that makes you go like, what the hell happened there? Like, they got to do something like that. Otherwise, like, imagine if the cliffhanger is like some like weird sappy romantic moment. Like, it would suck. No, everyone would be like, oh God, what the hell was that? It's got to be something crazy. The level of crazy is the big question. Whether it's like, did you just do something stupid, crazy? Or like jaws hit the floor, pass out, stress attacks, just general issues with the brain, cause like of an ending in a crazy moment. So I'd expect deaths, maybe the recreation of Barry sacrificing himself from the comics. That could be something that happens there. But something crazy, something to do with the Anti-Monitor as well. I think it'll be, which makes you think Barry. Something happening to Barry. But yeah. Talon 028 with the $2 with the $2, sorry. The timeline on Batwoman is current as of now. From what I read, the first few episodes were before Elseworlds. Then there was an accelerated timeline, and as of the Arkham Breakout mentioned in episode 5, the show is current with everyone else. So is that the case? Okay. I didn't realize I'd mentioned that. I thought, yeah, because it's a big, like, it's pretty much a year. So I can understand that accelerating the timeline. Like, Flash skipped ahead 2 weeks randomly 1 week. I think, like, even Arrow, I think last season skipped ahead like 6 weeks between like random episodes as well. So they do that, but like a year is a big thing. But I'll take it. I'll believe it. Let's look through the chat yet. How many cameos haven't been shown? They said that there was 6 cameos that weren't revealed or leaked. And 2 of them were last night, even though I don't want to know if we're really including Will Wheaton, but we'll just say that we are. And then the guy that was doing the trivia was from The Tick. He was like the sidekick on The Tick TV show. Are you surprised yesterday's episode didn't hit 2 million live viewers? Yes and no, mainly because I've talked to a lot of people who said that they're going to save watching these 3 episodes in a row, which I can understand. But how many people would do that? And I think the answer is not that many. It is important to remember that they're live viewers, so people might have recorded. Um, but I am still surprised. Like, I wasn't expecting it to hit 3 or anything, but I was expecting like 2.3, maybe bordering around 2.5. So yeah, I don't know necessarily why that is. Whether it's people leaving it, the fact that it was Supergirl and that doesn't necessarily get a ridiculous amount of numbers. Like the Flash episode will be a big indicator. Like how many views will that episode get? That's a big indicator. Because it's important to remember, some people just don't even know that the crossovers happen. Like they'll notice like after the fact, like they'll watch it. Like someone will watch the episode of Flash this week and go like, "What's this? What the hell's this?" And they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm halfway through a goddamn crossover." So that might happen. So there's a lot of people that don't realize that. That's important to remember. But we'll have to wait and see the other numbers. Let's go through the chat. Nora Shafi with the $2. You think we'll get a proper goodbye between Ollie and Barry? I think so. I think we will. And also, it's important to remember there was another shot from another trailer which showed like Oliver on the floor in pain, and you can see Barry's arm over him, and that wasn't in Crisis. So that's another scene that we're going to see. Oh, that wasn't in what we saw yesterday. So that's going to be another scene. So Ollie and Barry will interact again. But yeah. Why wasn't Earth 2 Laurel in the first episode? I don't know. I think she's in the crossover. Like, Earth 1 Laurel's been confirmed for Crisis. But I remember Katie Cassidy posted a picture of her and David Ramsey with the director of the Arrow crossover episode. I think it was the Arrow crossover episode. And she was in, like, the Laurel Earth 2 hair, like her Katie's normal hair, which is, like, the short, sort of, like, bleached blonde hair. So she's in an episode, whether it's multiple. I'd say she's in the Arrow episode. It makes sense if she's in the Arrow episode, but we're also meant to see Earth 1 Laurel as well. That's from Richard Stam. I forgot to say your name, sorry. That was from Richard with the $5. Thank you very much for that. Comic Aussie with the $2. Any news about a possible Shazam cameo? That could happen. They're still filming cameos. I need to say that. Like, they're filming cameos to set up the world afterwards. So like Stargirl apparently has a cameo. It wouldn't surprise me if they do something else with maybe some other DC Universe stuff, or even potential HBO Max stuff, and then some movie stuff, and even past stuff, in the DC world, like old movies. Like Val Kilmer might show up and he's like, oh, there's Bruce Wayne or something, something like that, from what was that movie, Batman Forever. So Shazam could show up as well. Like Zach Levi's friends with people in the Arrowverse. Would know probably some people behind the scenes, so that wouldn't be too hard of a task. So yeah, it's possible. I'll just look through the chat quickly. Mia will see her again. Do you mean like will we see Mia again? Mia's in all the episodes, I think, except maybe Legends. But we know she's in the Flash episode and she's in tonight's episode. So for those that know, Jonah Hex is in tonight's episode, and I'm pretty sure it's Mia, Sarah, Barry. Is that it? Those 3 go to Jonah Hex, or they have scenes together. Yeah, there's a lot of pretty much. Okay, so the way to look at this episode is, and I don't really like comparing Marvel and DC, but if you remember Infinity War, so in Infinity War you had all those groups separated, so some were in different, planets, different areas in space, and then some were on different parts on Earth. That's pretty much what this episode is going to be, but in this case it's going to be like through different times, like different years, and then different Earths and stuff. So you're going to see like Iris, Lois, and Clark. Lois and Clark from Earth 38 go to Smallville Earth and Kingdom Come, then come back in to see Kate and Kara go to the Kevin Conroy Batman. We're going to see apparently Flash or Barry, Sarah, and Mia go to Jonah Hex. And who's the other one? There's another one. I can't remember what the other one is. I can't remember. There's another one, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, it's going to be like Infinity War, where everything's different. We're going to be going, and then everything's going to meet up at the end, I guess. So yeah. Proton Flash with the $2. Where can I watch it live? Please let me know. There is a website called ustvnow.com. If you go there, it's basically you can watch American channels for free in a legal way. It's like a legal website to stream American TV. It's for military people. So just pretend you're in the military, I guess. And you can watch it there. So that's the best way to go about it. That's where I watch. Krish Kapoor with the £5. Will they really go ahead with Barry dying on the 10th? I would say yes. Let's just say yes. I'm not going to say yes with confidence, but let's just say yes because it will be. Let's just say that might be the cliffhanger, leading into what do we call it? The break. So I'd say yes. Dre Dog, that's a cool name. Dre Dog Williams with the $2.30. Paige, you're an awesome person, man. Thank you very much for that, Dre Dog. You got an awesome name. Hypershard 777, not 777 with the 99 cents, or let's just say it's $1. Thank you very much for that. Adamon 490 with the $2. Why does Earth 16 Oliver have different memories? The best way to look at that Earth, and I think Guggenheim talked about it as well, that Earth is pretty much an Earth where metahumans never happened. So like Sarah didn't come back, and all this stuff with Barry becoming the Flash and all these metahumans and stuff never happened. So that was like the world where all of that takes place. There was confusion because like they sort of hint that like that's actually where the legends went, but it's revealed that wasn't the case. So this is like a different Earth where like metahumans never came to be, and it was just a really grounded Earth. So pretty much like imagine Arrow season 1, and that continued to now, and then kept on going to all those years in the future, 2046. That's what Earth 16 was like. So yeah. Where am I? Marty Griffith, the €5. Do you think that the crossovers should be their own miniseries instead of one episode on Supergirl? About, I think in a perfect world, yes, but I think with like contract things with the TV show and just different things like that, and broadcasting rights and broadcasting deals, that's pretty much impossible, I think. In a perfect world, yes, but I think just because of all that, they can't really do it. I think Guggenheim explained it. I think during Crisis on Earth X. I think it was during Crisis on Earth X he explained that. Andrew the Man, once again with the $5. If Shazam, Zachary Levi, and Superman / Adam, Brandon Routh, interact in the crossover, will they mention Chuck? That'd be a good thing. Apparently there's funny interactions between Brandon Routh and Brandon Routh tonight, or is it tomorrow's episode or something, with the Adam and Superman. There's meant to be funny interactions there because they're both played by the same guy. But in regards to Zach Levi and Brandon Routh, if he showed up, it'd be cool, and that interaction would be cool as well. But like once again, like that's wishful thinking. But you never know. I think if Shazam was going to appear to be like a small cameo filmed in like LA quickly. Hypershard 777 once again with the $2. Where do you think Future Felicity went to see Oliver? Like a version of the Paradise Dimension, which is from the comics, which is where like the people that remember Crisis and stuff like that, they go there. They go to like this different dimension, which I don't think they're going to do in the TV thing. They're going to keep that where the people that do remember still exist in the Earth. But it's more like Oliver, because what's happened to him might go to this different area, and maybe some other characters like Lex Luthor might go there as well, because he's dead but is now back, but he's meant to be dead, so he might go there as well. Why didn't the Monitor bring Oliver back to life? Just thought this because the whole Lex Luthor thing came up. He brought Lex Luthor back to life. Why didn't he bring Oliver back to life? Anyway, in the meantime, we got DeMatthew Dela Cruz with the $2. Is Reverse Flash going to come to Crisis? I don't know, and I have no confidence in saying this, but I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. With no confidence, but I'm going to say yes. But yeah, and then Cal1327, that's my dog's name. Cal, you became a member. Was that you? He's like, no, I'm sleeping. That's my dog's name. Cal1327 became a member. Thank you very much for that. We did get another super chat. And B Nation with the $3. Hey Paige, do you think Tom will go in Crisis? Do you mean Tom Welling? If that's what you mean, then I'd say yes. Like, oh, do you mean like die? I'm not too sure what you mean by that actually. Hey Paige, do you think Tom will go? I'm going to assume you mean like, will Tom Welling die? If that's the case, I'm going to say maybe. Maybe, but not confident. Not too sure. What's this? Oh, don't worry, I got some weird email just then. On which show is part 2? Batwoman. Batwoman is on part 2. Let me look. There was another super chat here. Andrew the Man with the $2. Will Mark Hamill appear as the Joker? Maybe. I'd like to think so. Or they might have something in like, they might have a picture of him as the Joker, or they might have like a sound. Like, that's the thing. I think if you're gonna get anything like that, it'll be tonight. Because Kevin Conroy's Batman is there, so you might get like some weird thing where there's like a recording of his voice, and they might do that. Or even if it's a picture as him as the Joker, which might be hard due to like legal things. But that'd be cool. If that's gonna happen, tonight is the night for that to happen. But yeah. Will Stevenson or Stephenson? I'm gonna say Stevenson with the let's say Stephenson. I don't know, Stephenson or Stevenson with the $1. Thank you very much for that. Just let me click off this. Talon put a donation through Streamlabs. When will we see the rest of the Legends, the rest of Team Flash, and the rest of Team Arrow? I think you see a decent amount of the Legends tonight. I've heard, don't take this as fact, but I've heard, people were saying this, that a lot of the Legends characters will be employees in the Daily Planet where the Kingdom Come Clark Kent or Kingdom Come Superman works. So I've heard you see Zari, Mona, and I think Gary in there. I don't know about Gary, but I've heard Zari and Mona a couple of times. So keep your eye out, because apparently they might be in there. Jamie Harley with the £2. Thank you very much for that. Do you think a younger version of Batman will show up? Not in Crisis, but Batwoman has teased Bruce Wayne coming into the show, and at Comic-Con this year, after they showed the pilot, they did talk about... You right there? I thought he was going to vomit for a second. I was like, what's going on there? Yeah, at Comic-Con, after they showed the pilot episode, they teased that like the notebook that she writes in could lead to Bruce Wayne coming in later in the season. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yeah. Will we see original timeline Barry return? It's always a possibility, but I don't really know if there's a need for him to come back. Because technically the original timeline Barry... Oh, actually, no, it wouldn't, because it's a different timeline now. He really shouldn't. I don't think he should. I think it'd be really hard to make it make sense for him to stick around too long. They've got to stop making Tyler's Superman look weak. Yeah, they should, especially because he's getting his own spin-off show in less than a year. So you think you'd try to like hype him up a bit more instead of like making him look weak to either, or like just like less. I know that Supergirl's meant to be more powerful in some aspects due to like histories of like their interactions with the Earth and stuff like that. But they've really got to stop making Tyler look really weak, because he's even looking like weak to the Kingdom Come version. Who I know is a bit more ruthless, but still, you got to hype him up a bit more because he's getting his own spin-off. Do you wonder why Barry hasn't been told about Earth 2 yet? I don't know. They might leave that for the Flash episode for it to like fully be realized. I don't know necessarily why he hasn't been told, or why they didn't know from Earth, from earlier this season on the Flash. You think maybe they might keep in contact with Harry, but apparently not. Do you think we'll get multiple Earth cameos tonight? Maybe. I'm excited to see what they do, because this episode does seem like it's going to be a big like hunt for the paradox episode, hunt for the paradoxes episode. So I think we might get a lot of either Earth cameos, like whether they just like mistakenly go to an Earth and go, oh, wrong Earth, but they'll see something or there'll be a reference to something in the past there, and then we'll go to the proper Earth where we're meant to go. They might do a lot of stuff like that. Colin Henderson with the $2. Hamill could be the Joker that attacked Daily Planet. That could be. They could even do something where like they have like that Kingdom Come Superman version has like a threatening thing from the Joker, or like some sort of evidence that he did it. You know what I mean? They could, like, it could be Mark Hamill's voice. Did I say paradoxes? I meant paragons. Did I say paradoxes? I meant paragons. Too much Flash talk, and I'm thinking about paradoxes. I meant paragons. Sorry. Okay, don't worry. What happened to the Godspeeds? I think that's going to come back into play in the back half. On which show will be part 3, 4, and 5? So part 3 is on Flash, part 4 is on Arrow, part 5 is on Legends of Tomorrow. Is Gotham making a cameo on Crisis? That could be tonight. If they're going to do a cameo for it, it'll be tonight. Did you see Stephen Amell replied to you on the Twitters? Yes, I did. Very random, but very cool at the same time. Thank you, Will Stevenson or Stephenson, for joining the membership. Greatly appreciated. And thank you to R17 with the $5 super chat. Hey, Pagey, how do you think crossovers will look like after Crisis? Not as big, but I think they'll still be going for a big scale. Like, I think Guggenheim teased next year's crossover is a bit more of a, not small, but smaller. But I think he said the year after that, they're going massive. So maybe next year's is like an Elseworlds sort of thing where they build up to the next one. Because Elseworlds, when you really look at it, it's not like a Crisis on Earth X crossover or like an Infinite Earths crossover, or even an Invasion crossover. It's really just, it's a pure preview or like just set up for Crisis on Infinite Earths. Like, you treat Elseworlds as like required viewing for Crisis on Infinite Earths rather than it's like its own crossover. It's a cool crossover, but it's not as eventful. You know what I mean? Captain J with the $5. Would they recruit villains to help out? If not, which villain would you like to see recruit? If I'm going to meet Brandon Routh tomorrow at a talk show, are you and Stephen BFFs? I wouldn't say me and Stephen are BFFs. In regards to Brandon Routh, wasn't he? I think he's doing a lot of talk shows for Christ. I think he did one today as well. I'm not too sure about that, but that's cool. In regards to recruiting villains, technically they've recruited Lex Luthor. Maybe that's where Deathstroke comes in. Maybe he comes in the Arrow episode. Maybe that's where Manu Bennett shows up. Maybe Prometheus comes back. Maybe Damien Dark comes back. Maybe all those villains come back from Arrow to help. Who knows? There's a lot of surprise. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises still to come. I think a lot of them are going to be in parts 4 and 5, but I think we still should expect some big surprises in these next 2 episodes as well. I don't think episode 1 had a ridiculous amount of surprises in regards to appearances, but I'd expect tonight and tomorrow to have a decent amount as well, or a decent amount. Liam Keeble, thank you for joining the membership as well. Welcome. If you do join the membership, for those that are new about it, you do get a bunch of emojis, which I will paste there. I know people will love the Bebo emoji, which is always a fan favorite. So you get all those emojis, and you get a special little emblem next to your name. When is my cameo? That'd be a spoiler if I told you. Will Wheaton is in apartment 4. Now he is. I don't know what happened to him now, where he went. God, I've been streaming for an hour. God, we'll go like we did yesterday. We'll go for another bit. We'll try and lead up to an hour and a half, so we'll go for like another 20 odd minutes. Do you think we'll get more Earth 16 in Crisis? Whether it be we go to Earth 16 or stuff from Earth 16 comes to us, I think that will play into it again. Do you think Bruce Wayne will have a cameo? Will have a scene with Kingdom Come Superman? I'd say no, but we could be surprised. We could be surprised. I'd say no based off what we're seeing, but you never know. When does Black Lightning show up? Episode 3, and he's in episode 5 as well. So that makes me wonder, because there's been a lot of talk about characters appearing in this episode and this episode, but none of them ever say they're appearing in the Arrow episode. Like, I think Ryan Choi's in 3 and 5. Black Lightning's in 3 and 5. Like, a lot of the Supergirl actors are in 1 and 5. Yeah, so the Arrow episode feels like it's literally just going to be a lot of Arrow characters, and then, like, I guess your main, like, Supergirl, Flash, and all that. But none of, like, you're not going to see Martian Manhunter on Arrow or anything. That's what it sounds like, at least. We need an apartment 4 emoji. I'll have to figure out one. It can't just be a number 4. It has to be, I guess, like some sort of creative thing with a door, or maybe, it could be Harry knocking with like a speech bubble, West Allen coming out. I don't know. Scarlet Lightning 86 with the $2. Oh, you said that. We need an apartment 4 emoji. I'm an idiot. Can't read. Godlike Domino with the $5. Why do you think they're taking such a big break between part 3 to part 4 and 5? One, it's to fit the actual timeline. So in regards to the timeline in the Arrowverse, there will be a month break. So say it's in December, they will come back when it's January in their timeline. So it's to fit that, for one. And also, two, they're pretty much treating it like a comic book, where like you will get a comic book, you will get an issue. Say back in the day when they had Crisis, you will get Crisis and they'll be like, the Flash just died and that's the cliffhanger. You close it. Oh crap, when does the next issue come out? 6 weeks. You'll wait 6 weeks to read that because you want to know what the hell happened. That's what they're doing here. And I think it's a good way to go about it. It might frustrate people, but I think hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully it's worth it. Let's look through here. Paige, I thought Earth 16 was Young Justice, so why is Oliver an old man there? The Earths are different. Like, really, Earth 2 is Earth 3 in the comics and stuff like that, so it's different. It's a bit all over the joint. It's a bit all over the joint. So I'm just looking through the chat quickly. Diggles with his ring? Won't spoil that. Am I Earth 38 Will Wheaton? Maybe. Everyone just was roasting me, saying, hey, there's your cameo. There's your cameo in Crisis. Not cool. Did I come in at a bad time? Is there ever a bad time to come into a Pagey stream? I have no idea. Hello, Flash Freak. Welcome to the stream. What do you think about Fox 8's leaked description of Crisis Part 3? I think they might have got trolled and they put it there because it doesn't really make sense, because we know like Flash is in the Flash episode and does stuff, so I don't think it really makes sense. Like, if that was for another episode, like the Arrow episode or something, then maybe, but I think for that episode it doesn't really make sense. I think they might have got trolled a bit. Will I do a live reaction to tonight's episode? No. So I'm going to do a normal video like I did yesterday, just talking about the episode and where it could lead and stuff, and I'll do the exact same for tomorrow's episode. But for parts 4 and 5, because they're on the same night, and it is obviously the fallout from everything, there will be a reaction to both those episodes in like one big video, because they're back to back, they're on the same night. So that's going to be almost like me reacting to a movie, which is going to be weird to edit, weird to upload, the weirdest video I'm probably going to upload to YouTube in regards to just different content. So that'll be like almost I'd say 50 minutes to maybe 40 minutes at the lowest, but I think it'll be about 50 because there'll be so much crap going on. So that'll be what happens in regards to that. But thank you, Josh McGregor, for the $10 and asking that. For those that don't know, that's what I'm planning to do at least. Obviously, things could change, but that's my plan. And then also the week after that to react to the Arrow spin-off pilot. And then after that to react to the Arrow finale. Because I don't think any of those, at least those 2 Arrow episodes not deserve, but I think a reaction from me at least would serve those better, just because I've had such strong opinions on that spin-off, and then also the Arrow finale. Like, there's not much to theorize from that. It's more to just enjoy, and I think me reacting to it's the best way to go about it. Baby John is filling the Alexander Luthor role. I don't necessarily if he's filling it in, but I think they're drawing a lot of comparisons. I wouldn't say necessarily he's fitting it though, like fitting that hole. I bit my tongue earlier tonight. It really hurt. It's swelling up. Can't wait for Paige's live reactions to Mia. I don't think they'll be bad, but if she goes back to... Well, I'm hoping it won't be bad, but if she goes back to being like, oh, I'm really angry all the time, then I'm going to be annoyed. You know, I'm not going to be happy. Blackest Night in a few years? Let's hope. That'd be cool. Will we hear we need more diapers line again? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if it's ever going to come back into everything, though. Greg Gustave with the $2. Black Lightning episode starts tonight. Crisis for them. Yeah, so if you didn't know, especially if you're in America and you can watch it, there's no Aftermath. So that Aftermath show that was on yesterday, that's not on tonight. So you have the Batwoman episode, then you have Black Lightning, which is like a sort of like a Crisis tie-in episode. It's not a full-on Crisis tie-in. Like, I guess it's recommended viewing, but it's not necessary viewing. But if you want to watch it, you sort of get Black Lightning's lead into Crisis, if you want to call it. Watch that, and then he'll appear in tomorrow's episode as well. Paige makes his videos in apartment 4. I wish. We talked about this yesterday. I make my videos in apartment 6. This sucks. I wish I was in apartment 4. Apartment 6 sucks. Apartment 4 would be much better. Actually, I think apartment 4 is upstairs. It would suck because these stairs here are really weird to walk up. Sorry, I wish apartment 4 was on the ground floor, but yeah. Sorry, I just need to check something here. Have a drink while I'm doing it. When does Tom Welling show up? Tonight's episode. Paige lives in the accursed apartment 6. Yeah, don't even live in apartment 5, because that would be where Barry and Iris live. And Harry's been there. That's what he was looking for. He was looking for apartment 5, Harry. Came across apartment 4, uncovered a massive mystery. But I don't live in either. I live in the next best, well, not even the next best thing, probably the crappiest thing, apartment 6. Uh, when will Arrow come back, and do you think the Monitor will bring him back? Well, the Monitor can bring people back to life. He brought back Lex Luthor, so why can't he bring back Oliver? That's what I was, maybe he is. Maybe the whole thing with Oliver dying is fake. Maybe that's to like motivate. Maybe that's actually a part of his plan. And that's why he didn't zap Oliver away. Because there was a couple of things. Like, one, he just zapped all those heroes away just like that. Like, just clicked them away. But with Oliver, he just stood there and went, oh, I've been hit with an arrow. Oh, now we go. Like, it was so delayed on everything. So maybe that was a part of his plan. Maybe that's actually how he saw Oliver die. But maybe he needs certain heroes to think Oliver... No, maybe that's not how he saw Oliver die, but he needed Oliver to die to motivate the other heroes to lead them down this different thing. Something like that. I have no idea, because apparently it's not part of his plan, but maybe it is a part of his plan. I don't know. Very confusing. Hopefully it gets explained. LaMonica Garrett did say that a lot of elements in the pre-Crisis stuff on the seasons, as well as the stuff in Crisis, might seem confusing, but they get explained and revealed, and then why they made sense, or why certain characters did things later in the story. So I think that might happen with Oliver and all of that, but that's for us to wait and find out. Freddy with his freaking planes. Let's wait 2 seconds for it to go over. Once again, have a drink. Freddy with the $2. Thank you much for that, Freddy. Could Stargirl crossover after Crisis? It depends what they want to do with the character. Like the future of the DC universe shows and what's going on there are up in the air. Some of them could move to HBO Max. Some of them could just not necessarily move to the CW, but be involved with the Arrowverse. It's confusing. They really need some clarity there, because it's all over the joint at the moment. But hopefully they decide what they're going to do by early next year. And by the sounds of it, that's going to be the case. There's actually going to be a plan as to where all these shows lie and who's who and where's where and everything like that. Does Iris appear in Apartment 6? No, but if she did, Barry wouldn't be very happy, would he? I'm broke. I want to donate and ask what the hell happened to the Godspeed. That'll come back into the end of the season. Like I wouldn't be focusing on that too much. Mark Guggenheim said Earth 2 Laurel isn't in Crisis. Didn't he just say that Earth 1 Laurel was in Crisis and then Earth 2's in the spin-off? I don't think he necessarily ruled out Earth 2 Laurel wasn't in the Crisis. Unless he did. Maybe I missed that tweet. I'm not saying that isn't true, but it looked like she filmed Crisis, but maybe that was just a old photo or something like that, and it was just posted at a convenient time to make it look like Crisis. I don't know. Darkseid is a crossover villain. It'll be funny if the TV did it before that. I know Darkseid was in Smallville, but in regards to crossover villain, it'd be interesting to see if they could do it though. Wait, will Jay Garrick die? Oh, do you mean like at Earth 3? I don't know. I wonder if he's going to be in there. If he's actually going to be in Crisis. You'd think so. Like, apparently he's an expert on antimatter. Wouldn't they be recruiting him to help? I don't know. Ooh. Sorry for yawning. Will Tom Welling suit up as Superman or only play Clark Kent? I would be saying he's only playing Clark Kent. I wouldn't be looking into too much suiting up from Tom Welling, apart from a flannel and some jeans and some yellow gloves. Bossman 27030, I can with the $2. You're amazing. Are you secretly Batman? I wish I was secretly Batman, because I wouldn't be living in an apartment. I'd be living in a goddamn mansion or a manor. But let's just pretend I am for now. We'll pretend we'll pretend I am. Let's just say that I am. What happened to Bloodwork? He's with Argus. I think they said he's gone to Argus for like secured prison sort of stuff. But I think he's going to die in there. I don't know how long it'd take for him to die though. Where is Psycho Pirate? Or what's the deal with Psycho Pirate? I have no idea. I think he'll be in Crisis, but it's one of those things where if he did do it, like if he did do it, if he was in Crisis, it'd be all indoor scenes. So yeah, like he wouldn't have done any public stuff, so it's hard to tell if he's actually going to be there or not. He might be one of the surprise appearances, but he's in Crisis, so it shouldn't really be a surprise. Anyway, Is KC Superman a pagey gone? Maybe. Maybe. Where is he? Here he is. KC Superman. KC Superman. Sorry for yawning again. What the hell, WTF, sorry, does Jonah Hex have to do with Crisis? I have no idea. Because it looked, in the trailer, did anyone else see it? Like, it looked like pre-incident, pre-burn Jonah Hex before he gets burnt and stuff like that. And gets his face all messed up. It looked unscarred. So, is this a very much younger Jonah Hex? Or, I'm curious. Because it didn't look like he had any of those injuries. So I'm intrigued to see what happens there and why he's needed as well. Do you think Velocity X and Last Temptation episode will help create Godspeed? Maybe. Maybe. I wouldn't say yes, but maybe. Are we likely to see Malcolm Merlyn again before Arrow finishes? Once again, maybe. I'm not too sure. Like, Tommy Merlyn, I think, is in the finale for Arrow, but I'm not too sure about Malcolm. Yeah, it was a pre-Scarface Jonah Hex, yeah. So I'm just looking through the chat. Alternate world Jonah Hex? It could be. That's always a possibility. Earth 16 Oliver must be important, right? It's maybe not necessarily important, but he plays a role. He might play another role in this crossover. Are you doing a live reaction? No, not to these. The live reactions will be for parts 4 and 5 in January. That's when we'll get the live reactions. The Monitor backstory will be in the last episode. No, it's actually in the part 4, Joseph. So at the beginning of part 4, you get the backstory, or the origin, if you want to call it, to the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor. So that's why in that these goddamn planes, that is extremely loud. That's why in like that trailer, I think it was like the first one that came out, you see the Monitor without the mutton chops or anything like that. So you'll see both of them there. But that could be the Anti-Monitor before he comes to Anti-Monitor. Oh no, we'll have to wait and see. How much do you know about what goes down in Crisis? I have zero idea about what happens in an Arrow episode. Literally zero, outside of what we know now, thanks to what Guggenheim said about the Anti-Monitor and Monitor Origins. Legends episode, yes. I pretty much know what happens, maybe in the Arrow episode or the Flash episode, what happens at the end, or at least what it leads to. Just because of a conversation which pretty much explains what happened, and it gets me very excited. I said it in a video, so if some of you guys watched my video on that, where I told you what happens in the Legends of Tomorrow episode, or at least one scene that explains a lot about what the fallout is from Crisis, then you know what happens and what I'm referring to there. But some of you wouldn't. Like, that video doesn't have a bajillion views. I think it has like 40,000 maybe, or something like that. So not a ridiculous amount of people have seen it. So not many, and obviously I labeled it as a very big spoiler warning. So maybe not a lot of people. It has 44,000 views, and a decent amount of those people probably would have stopped watching before I told it, because I said, "Yo, there's spoilers here. Don't watch if you don't want to be spoiled." So they might not have watched. But yeah, is Titans season 3 now scrapped? We were told we were getting it, but after last night, I don't know what to think. What do you think? No, I don't think it's scrapped. It's gonna happen. It would have been interesting to see. Because the thing is, you can always say is that, say that's Earth 9. The biggest issue I think is that Guggenheim said that was the DCU Titans, like the one that we see all the time on the streaming service. The only thing you can think of is that Crisis restores that. Like, that's one of the things that is sort of like restored by the events of Crisis. It doesn't actually remain dead. So, can you see Cal again? You can see his arm. But yeah, that might come back. Those Titans are Arrowverse Titans, not the DCU. Well, the guy behind the crossover said it's the DCU Titans, so I'd rather take his word for it, because he's the one that was working with the showrunner for Titans. It's like, for those that don't know, I said this at the beginning. the Titans. So if you watched my video where I went over the scene where it was Titans Towers, that was the planned scene if they could get the people there to film it. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it because of work permits. I put a tweet out about it. I'll read it exactly because this is the exact way to word it. Let me find it. It was so. This was from Guggenheim at a Q&A. So they were going to shoot scenes for Titans to be a part of the crossover. So they were going to be filming a brand new scene. Unfortunately, because the permits needed to work in Vancouver where they filmed Crisis, they were not able to make it happen. The Titans showrunner, who I think is Greg Walker, tried everything he could, but Guggenheim said it just couldn't happen. But of course, Guggenheim and the others behind Crisis, one of them included, so that's why they used unused footage from season 1 for the opening scene with them. So originally it was going to be that Titans thing. That was all true. I already got people that doubt that I had the thing are idiots because I said they were from Earth 9 and they were from Earth 9, but they just couldn't get them there. Which make I don't know the thing about the work permits because Titans film in Toronto, that's Vancouver. They're both in Canada, so I don't know what the issue is there. But yeah, I don't know what the issue is there, why they couldn't make it work. But yeah, they were meant to be. I don't know which Titans it would have been. It wouldn't have been too many. I think there probably would have been 3 or 4. They probably would have chosen the OG ones maybe. So I guess it would have been at that point Nightwing, Raven, maybe Beast Boy, Starfire, and maybe, I don't know, maybe Superboy. I don't know. Maybe Alan Richardson because he was like Aquaman on Smallville, so they might have tried to get him as well. But yeah. The Flash Season 7 villain could be Cobalt Blue, aka Barry's long lost brother. Do you agree with that theory? Well, Crisis can make anything happen. I personally would want Cobalt Blue to be Eddie Thawne, and they can do a whole thing with like how Barry was hailed as a hero after season 1, but really Eddie was the hero. And even though Barry didn't want that praise, he was still given that praise. And if Eddie came back and just saw all that stuff where Barry was given praise, Barry's married to Iris now, all this different stuff, it could be like a negative Flash. We got like this negative thing with Eddie where everything's a negative and he just goes mad from it. So yeah. How did the Legends go to Earth 16 season 1? I don't think they did. I think that was the thing that the episode didn't make clear. I think they just went to Earth 16 is just similar to that timeline that they went to. Even though it's being said that the Wave Rider can travel the multiverse, which I think they're going to do tonight. The multiverse, the Wave Rider is going to be able to travel the multiverse. That future wasn't the same future, so it's not the same thing that they went to. Or that Earth isn't the same thing that they went to. So I think what Earth 16 was just like a sort of like a version of that timeline and somewhat similar. It wasn't the exact same place they went to. That's the thing I don't think they made clear in that episode. Why did you move near airport? I'm actually not even near the airport that much. Like I'm 15 minutes away, but most of Sydney is. It's just that all of Sydney is like under a flight path. It's ridiculous because so much air traffic comes in and out because it's such a popular, well, it's just the main area to come to from Australia. Mackenzie 2 times. With $5, do you think Robot Arm or Green Arrow will die the way the Monitor thinks? Maybe that could happen. That actually might be the way it happens. That's actually an interesting theory. Especially because that Oliver's pretty much lost everything. Like you saw how like broken he was. So if he has a purpose to especially save the multiverse, then he might come in and do that, which would be pretty interesting. Captain J10 with the $2. Love watching your videos. I hope to meet you one day. Well, if I'm at Comic-Con next year, so if you see me there, then feel free to come up and say hi. I just realized I just missed a lot of different super chats. The real sample with $2. Will the Flash die in this crossover? Yes and no. That'll be my answer. And I could go into deeper detail or further detail, but I don't want to spoil anything. So we'll just say yes or no. Thomas Gonzalez Lado with the 50 ARS. Not too sure what that means. Will Wheaton has a cameo and you don't? Suspicious. Yeah, we'll just keep that as that. Yes, suspicious. Even though everyone thought I was Will Wheaton for some reason. And then Lone Wolf X6 with the $2. Do you think John Constantine is a paragon? Maybe, but also maybe not. It's hard to tell because he's on Legend, so it's hard to tell if he's going to be a paragon or not. I'll say no, but he could be. It's no with little confidence, but I just don't. I think they'll do something different. What's this? With the Paragons. I got some weird email then. Okay, don't worry. Just want to make sure. Okay. Well, guys, I'm actually going to end the stream there. We've been streaming for an hour and a half. Once again, I'll be streaming tomorrow morning as well, before the Flash episode or part 3. So same time, same Pagey channel or Pagey YouTube channel. We'll be streaming again, having a chat about Crisis, everything like that. Hopefully tonight's episode has some like what the hell moments, so we can just like all stress out together, and some big lead into tomorrow's episode. But obviously, if you want to join the live chat while watching Crisis, click on the Discord link in the description down below. You can join there, hit up the live chat when the episode starts, and get involved with everyone else in there. It should be interesting, and I'll be in there as well having a chat. Yeah, but also I guess follow me on Twitter as well. And if you're new to the channel and you randomly came across this live stream, subscribe, and I'll have my video out about an hour after the episode ends tonight, roughly. But yeah, until my stream tomorrow, my video later today, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.